Greetings, all praise the King. Welcome to Eyewitness, an eye with an eye, an unscripted source where we reason to discover truth supporting the struggle for international justice. Today's topic of conversation is on social branding. This is a kind of identifiable point or a title slash given. It's the brand. When you see the package, you see the letterhead, you see the name, you see a picture, perhaps, and maybe some more information. Some of it's symbolic, and that usually is the brand. We've got different brands, GE. And they got their own symbol, for example. Now, you've got all kinds of brands, not just brands that are found on products, but brands for services and brands for people. That's what we're concerned about here, is the kind of personality, social branding, which is a form of association. They are associating the product inside that package with that symbol of that brand. And because of that, people assume that the product's quality, for example, if they trust that brand. A shirt, could have a logo here, and people think because that logo's there, that shirt is higher quality than if the logo wasn't there. So it plays on people's minds, and it generally makes people feel a little bit differently. The idea is to make people feel better about themselves. That's why they buy the brand. If they have that brand, on their feet, they feel like they got successful. So there's different reasons for the branding. One of which is to fool people into thinking the product's better than it is, and the other which is fool people into thinking they are better than they are if they wear the product. Now, as we stated, people can be branded as well. Mostly, this could be voluntarily, but not always. So, obviously, a gang. You affiliate yourself with a gang. You'd be branding yourself. You'd identify yourself with whatever the cause is that this group stands for. You have these fraternal organizations people align themselves with. Often they take oaths. They swear they're gonna abide by all the rules of the gang, which is usually to keep silence. It's usually to protect some secrets. People join churches, what they call the churches, the congregations. They become, what they call Catholics. They become what they call Protestants. They become what they call Presbyterians, Methodists, Baptists, and that's what they label them. They associate themselves with, and as a result, produce a label. Again, some of this is voluntary. I mean, if you decide to go to the congregation, then that's what you decided. But you did not necessarily decide to become Baptist because you went to a Baptist church. You know, for example, you were interested in what the people were speaking about, and you might even believe in some of these messages. But that doesn't necessarily make you a Baptist. But if you go there enough times, you might earn that label. People might start seeing you like that. So perhaps that's like unintended a label. Now, people across the planet have been divided. That's another subject. I'm not trying to take away from the plight of the descendant African slaves, but I do think that people are divided by race for a reason. I don't think that, for example, people that have a certain color skin, everybody wakes up and says, hey, I'm gonna find somebody that don't look like me, that has a different skin, is obviously from a different culture, and do anything I can to destroy this person. It wouldn't be practical, it wouldn't be effective, and it would drive anyone mad if that was their intention. So the idea that there's a bunch of people that look a certain way and they kind of all get together to make all the other people that look differently suffer is foreign. Now, you have the same thing happening with sex. And this is how you put that in check, because the same thing is happening with the race as far as projecting an image that there's a group of people that kind of live their life to make everyone else that's not like them suffer. It's being done with sex. So, the women basically know, obviously, that they have been disadvantaged. And so now they've kind of got to the point where that some of them made the decision of rationing why it is, and they've determined it's because of men. That's exactly why their life hasn't been as good as it could have been. And so it's a pretty easy sell, you know what I'm saying? Because you can make, like, you can always make people feel, better about their situation, if you get them to believe that they're victims. So you play the victim card, because people like to hear that. They want to know that, yeah, I've been set back because of certain people. Now, you're in the position, because you're the one that told them this, right? Of protecting them. You make pretend that, they think that you're protecting them. So, for example, when the women think that a reason for their tragedies have been because of men, then they may think, wow, men have the power over us. It's amazing that they haven't taken advantage of that to the point that they've eliminated us all, So then the thoughts think, well, that must be because there's something that's protecting us. So then that's the beast savior. They think that this thing, the structural rule they call the system, is there to save them, and it's the reason why they've been saved. So when you're identifying these points and attaching them to people, you're pushing people in a direction down Beast Street, the ultimate worship and servitude of man's monkey. Now, you've got these other groups coming out. You know what I'm talking about. And if you go and join, if you join this, yeah, you know what I'm saying? All of a sudden you become one of these. To them. That's how they project it. I'm talking about the mass communication network. And now you know you've got they this is how they split it. They split it. But see, one lends credence to the other, because as long as you're saying this, right, you're basing it off of this. See what I'm saying? Now, what the hell is going on here? When you're calling people black, which is the color, it's not the color of their skin, but you're identifying them. You're labeling them black. You're labeling other people white. You kind of tried to label some people yellow, but that didn't really work. So you just started to call them Asian. But you don't call Indians Asian. And you got two people going off of that same label, you know? So basically it does come down to language. You know what I'm saying? We're dealing with a crooked language, a method of witchcraft, which even in itself, if you look up the definition in their dictionary, you get the wrong meaning. This is not supposed to be the color of a person's skin. It's supposed to be what's they're wearing, a uniform. So you see the confusion is massive. It is massive. But it's starting to blow people's minds a little, because you have some people that think they're this and they're this, and they really don't know which way to go. Babylon kind of screwed that one up. Now, you've got your official titles. So these don't always have to be official, but it could be official. And if you're one of these people, we talked about this, call themselves a professional, this is how you will see yourself. I am an engineer. I am a lawyer. I am a judge. Whatever that profession is what you become. We talked about this in our video, careerism. These are called officials. Now, you got these unofficials. There's a new one now called a YouTuber. A YouTuber. I heard this on the radio. Somebody was calling themselves a YouTuber. Really, the host of the program was calling them a YouTuber. They were going along. It sounds like this would be somebody that watches YouTube a lot. But apparently it means somebody that puts out YouTube videos. But they haven't defined how many videos it takes to become a YouTuber officially. Now, I mean, I'm trying to think, like, perhaps I really wouldn't want to be called a YouTuber. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that's what people remember you as, a YouTuber. So you got to think about this for a minute. So this is an idea that right away, all right, you could be saying so many good things. You see, you could be saying so many things. You could be coming out with these E equals MC squared, you know, nuclear breakthroughs, and it might even take you 1,000 videos to be able to explain all this. Would you be a YouTuber? I mean, or would you be somebody who came out with a breakthrough? You know what I'm saying? So where's the line there? And the line is basically where the media industrial complex, whoever controls them, and we got an idea, decides who wants to be called, what label is what. Basically how it comes down to. Would you rather be called a YouTuber or a visionary? Would you rather be called a YouTuber or, a prophet. So these terms, these labels people are given, they mean something. They mean something. A lot of people are gonna laugh at you if they hear that you're a YouTuber. So that's the idea. The idea is to belittle the person's authority and really to suppress the message. This is crucial because the message is what's coming from your mind. It's a matter of philosophy. It's a matter of philosophy. And this is what they will discredit at this point. So, as long as they can label people, then they can create an image for people. And this is what they're looking to do. They would like to give people a perception as to what they see. So in other words, somebody's going to interpret what it is for you and explain it to you in a simple, perhaps symbolic way by using brands and images to convince you of something. Perhaps it's not real. Now, the basis of anyone joining any organization, group, order would be on philosophy. It's how we think. When I say philosophy, I don't mean the vain philosophy that's spoken about in the scripture, in the writings of Paul, but rather just psychological logic, the way that people, their minds operate. Yeah, and we are able to train our own minds, or we let them do the training for us. And sometimes our lives become so complex and difficult to manage that it's easier to let them do the managing or the training to affect the way we think, so that we don't look through the proper lens, a clear one, to see what it is that we're being shown. Because mostly everything that we see, we're being shown. Even Jah shows us the nature. So man attempts to put on his own show to display his articles in the manner that he sees sufficient for his cause. And this is based on his philosophy, but he realizes he's got to change yours to align itself to accept serving him. Nevertheless, man realizes that people do think differently. People have the ability to think differently, and people have the ability to come to the truth. And this is very dangerous for man. So man seeks to affect this. He affects it as we showed by these images. This world he builds around us. And if we only could recognize that we are unique individuals, endowed upon with godly attributes, then we will see through man's lie. And perhaps we will unite around something other than